So on Friday, I turned 14 weeks and we decided to go for an early gender scan. Hear me out. I know it's extremely early. However, there has been some private places, and I have watched a few TikToks on some private places of people going to the scans at 14 weeks, finding out their gender, had positive reviews, not had any problems with gender. I trust this lady with all my heart because I went there during my early days of pregnancy until I had my scan with the clinic, and she was absolutely brilliant. She's so sweet with Mace, and she's so patient, and she talks me through everything. She is just so genuinely nice. So she did the scan, and then she got a second opinion and everything. She checked baby's head, from head to bottom, as they usually do, I believe. Then she did the gender, and we opted for the cannons. After I had the scan, she prepped it all in a bag, and we went home, came home, we did the video. I'll put a clip here of what happened. We popped the cannons, we found out what the gender was. The cannons revealed it was a boy, and we were so happy, even though I went in there thinking, I really want a girl, but also I would have been happy with a boy. I ended up being really happy with the outcome of a boy. I was really shocked. I was like, I just knew it was going to be a boy. I just knew it. I was genuinely really excited for Mace to have a brother. I was genuinely really excited until I got my scan photos in an hour later.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Here's where it all changed, and you might want to stick around for this bit. I'm going to be very friendly here with the words. If you don't know, for a girl on an ultrasound, to tell the gender, it would be classed as a hamburger. For a boy, it would be like a turtle. On my scan photos, they weren't very clear. They were very blurry and weren't able to see much of the gender. However, it did not look like a boy. It looked like girl parts. And yeah, I know what I'm looking for when it comes to a boy because I've seen it before. Honestly, if I don't laugh, I genuinely will actually cry because it is the most funniest story. I genuinely was really confused and I was panicking. And so I took it upon myself to go to my mum group chat I'm in. That's due for July this year. Bearing in mind, these mums have had girls and boys, so they sort of know themselves, just experience-wise of what they've seen themselves. And they said, yeah, that does not look like a boy girl. That looks like a girl hamburger. And I was there going, oh no, please, no, how is this possible? Gave me a blue cannon, but then the wrong scan. And the thing is, I didn't even label it to what I was looking at because they usually do. They usually go leg, and then what it is. I even asked in the Knob Theory groups what my baby looked like. I'll just put an image here of what they even showed their scan photos as well of what their baby looked like at 14 weeks going for a gender scan. And honestly, it did not look like mine at all. Mine were completely different. And I started to go in panic mode. So before I went into that panic mode, I decided to contact the online chat that I used for them. I explained my situation and they said, no, that's totally understandable. Just come in for a free rescan next Friday and we'll confirm everything better for you then. They did say that 14 weeks is a bit of a stretch that they do. It's not always 100% guaranteed, but you know, if you come in at 15 weeks, it'll be a bit more accurate. And I said, do you know what? That's absolutely fine. I'll come in then anyway. So now I've got a scan again for Friday. So that's very exciting. We get to go again at the same time. But this time, I'm definitely going to see what it is. And if it isn't what it is, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to explain that one. I might have to end up doing a separate video just to reveal whether it's a cake and then do it that way. One thing that pregnant women go through that no one really talks about as well is gender disappointment, and is genuinely a real thing. I've seen it so much on TikTok recently, and it's so sad, the amount of women that get judged and scrutinized because they feel that way about their baby, because they go in having hopes of having a gender and then they come out with something else. But in my case, I feel like that too. I feel like, you know, I wanted a girl, came back out with a boy, was really happy still. But then now if I go back and it's a girl, I'm going to feel really sad. And I'm going to feel really disappointed because I got my hopes up for a boy when I found out, even though I wanted a girl. And it's just going to be really sad. It doesn't mean I love this baby any less. It just means that I feel this way and I'm allowed to feel that way. And I shouldn't be judged for the way that I feel. I do feel like a lot of pregnant mums are judged with this, and I find that is totally wrong. I feel like we should be supporting each other and, you know, saying, you know, you're allowed to feel this way. Your feelings are valid. So if you have felt like this and you have gone through something like this, or you went to your scan and, you know, you thought you were going to have a girl and you ended up having a boy, or it was the other way around, just know you're allowed to cry. You're allowed to feel the way that you feel. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to feel disappointed. And for somebody like me with ADHD, my emotional regulation is not the best. And for me to be able to recognize that I feel disappointed is a big achievement for me, because I feel that way and I'm not going to feel guilty for feeling that way. It's such a weird thing for me to be able to feel something like that, because I'm very mute to my emotions. I don't really know what they are and how to deal with them. But if I do end up feeling that way, or some sort of emotion, I'm just going to embrace it, because at the end of the day, my feelings are valid just as yours. Everybody has their opinion, but at the end of the day, no one can tell us how we feel, because we're all human beings and we're our own people and we have our own valid feelings. But yeah, that was my funny story on my gender gone wrong, possibly. So yeah, you guys will find out very, very soon what we're having. And yeah, stay tuned. Honestly, I want to hear your stories as well. So comment down below if you have gone through the same thing, if you've gone through gender disappointment, or if you've gone to a scan and it was wrong. I want to hear about it. I want to know. I want to hear your stories, and I think we should all just laugh at moments like this, because if we don't laugh, girls, we are going to cry. I'm waffling on too much now, so I'm going to head off. I'm going to relax because I've hurt my groin. So I'll catch you guys in the next video.